Hello, how are you all? I hope you're doing well. So, the Super Bowl is going to be in Los Angeles in about 3 weeks at Sophie Stadium, and city officials are getting criticized for sweeping certain problems under the rug, moving the problem so you have an aesthetic that things are much better than they actually are in LA. And this came out in The Guardian today, and it says, "Trying to disappear the poor. California clears homeless camp near Super Bowl." Officials in Los Angeles have cleared a homeless encampment near Sophie Stadium where the Super Bowl will take place in the next 3 weeks, drawing backlash from human rights groups and the unhoused residents who have been displaced. On Monday and Tuesday, the state transit agency Caltrans shut down a tent community which visitors would probably have passed on their way to the big game, calling it a safety issue. The publication did that, not me. But some have accused authorities of forcing people out of sight without providing housing or services. One of the people removed said, "It feels like they are removing people so they won't be seen." A lot of advocates for the homeless are saying that this is nothing new. This has been happening for a very long time. One person said LA has been faking its glamorous image when at the center of major national events for decades, including when the Pope came to the city in 1987. Another advocacy group called No Olympics LA is against the Olympics coming to LA in 2028, and they say that we see time and time again with sports capitalism, celebrities, or other big events like the Super Bowl or Olympics, the city tries to make the city look better for investors coming from out of town. So they're very encouraged to try to disappear the poor from the streets. There was also the Oscars in 2021 where they cleared encampments from Union Station, and I, as a Los Angeles resident, have seen this with my own eyeballs on Hollywood Boulevard every time they have a big movie premiere. I do not agree with these advocacy groups on everything. I think sometimes they are a part of the problem. I don't think there should be large encampments all over the city. It's not safe. It's not clean. There's a lot of problems with people up here. There's a lot of substance problems, and a lot of crime happens in these areas. There's a lot that goes on in these areas that advocates do not want to acknowledge, and I don't think that there's anything humane about allowing people to live in these conditions untethered. And I'll get back to that in a minute. But also, another side effect of this is when people are seeing on TV this image of LA that is not actually what LA is, and they come and they visit these areas thinking that they're all just going to be palm trees and sunny and safe and delicious smoothies and poke bowls and celebrities everywhere. And then they come to areas like Hollywood Boulevard or downtown LA or Sophie Stadium, and they realize, oh my gosh, I had no idea it was actually this way. There's a really great docuseries on Netflix called the Cecil Hotel. And in that series, there were a few people that stayed at the Cecil Hotel. People that stayed there thought, oh, it's downtown Los Angeles. That's going to be really safe, a cheaper hotel, so we're all good. And then they get there and realize, oh my gosh, I'm right next to Skid Row. It's the same with Hollywood Boulevard. It's the Walk of Fame. It's where they have all of the big movie premieres and everything like that. And they realize when they walk around for a few minutes, holy cow, there's a lot of craziness and I don't feel so safe. Are there parts of Los Angeles that are a lot more safe and are very beautiful and a lot cleaner? Yes, it's getting fewer and fewer. If you've watched this channel, you know we've talked about it before, but the image they portray of areas like Hollywood Boulevard, even Venice Beach on television sometimes, if you don't pay attention to the news, it's not what it actually is. It's not as glamorous as you would see on TV. I've even heard Venice Beach residents talking about how when they come and film a scene there, they clean the whole area up, they make it look really nice, but then as soon as they leave, it's back to the garbage that was once there before they started filming. And it does make me sad for people that come to LA thinking that they're going to get one experience and they get something completely different. But now back to the issue of the homeless. LA also has a history of throwing a lot of money at this issue, and it just continues to get worse. And now you have all of these random incidents that are happening in broad daylight to innocent people. And one of the people that this happened to was actually a woman who owns a music store in Santa Monica, who also happens to be a city council member. She cited a recent study that said per every 100,000 residents, there should be 100 psychiatric beds available. Well, in Santa Monica alone, they have 93,000 residents and 0 beds available. She also said we have a 0 bail system and a no jail system. You also have people that are not from Los Angeles, that are not from California. It was estimated that 75% of the people living in tents in Venice Beach aren't even from California. And the reason they flock to Los Angeles is because they know that they're going to be allowed to tent on the street and no one is going to bother them. That is, unless the Oscars come to town or unless the Super Bowl comes to town, and then you'll finally be asked to move. But what Los Angeles does, and what unfortunately a lot of these advocacy groups do, is they call it just a housing issue, and then they just throw a bunch of money at it, and the problem keeps getting worse. You know, the solution would be equal parts effort of law enforcement, mental health services, and housing. You call it just a housing issue when you throw a bunch of money at it, nothing changes, and then you sweep it under the rug anytime any big televised event comes to town. Not only are you putting residents at risk, you're putting potential visitors at risk because they don't know what they're walking into. Also, all the people that are unhoused on the streets, you're putting them more at risk because they're not getting the help that they need. Anywho, that's all I have to say about that. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you later.